fly so high. Together, tell our friends goodbye. Together, we will start life new. Together, this is one we'll never west.
Today's guest went from playing the wild hippie frontman of Broadway's Hair to camping it up in drag as one of the stars of Priscilla Queen of the Desert, which is now in its second year at the Palace Theater. Please welcome Mr. Will Swenson.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm super duper.
You're welcome. Second year, wow.
For Priscilla?
Yeah.
How about that?
You guys celebrated 1 year anniversary.
We did.
That's a lot of makeup.
It's a lot of glitter. It's a whole lot of sequins.
I remember when Cats was running, or when Phantom, one of these long running shows, they always count like how many eyelash, how much makeup they went through. So how about you? Like
I count costume changes.
In the show, you mean?
In every show, I have 21 costume changes.
So in total?
We've done total, counting Toronto, over 500, so I've done like 10,000 costume changes now.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
It's never going to happen
I'm
again.
so tired of changing my clothes.
People who do a lot of drag talk about how they end up swallowing a lot of glitter, right? And it ends up like getting in your bloodstream.
And your poop.
In your poop, right?
It's true.
Yeah,
I knew that I'd made it when my poop
poop
glittered. I was like, I'm really, truly fabulous.
That's
now.
Awesome. That's not many people can say
a
that.
little too much. Sorry.
Is that silver glitter in the poop?
It's all different shades depending on the costume. There's kind of pink and there's red. There's some green. There's a lot of silver.
The show really moves a lot, and to keep your energy up, I mean, you can't sort of
you can't walk through the show. Yeah, it's like super high adrenaline show. It's a runaway train. Once you're on it, it's kind of.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing. Some shows you're sitting backstage just kind of going, come on, this is a long night. But Priscilla, it's like you're on stage and then the show's gone and over and done because you just were running the whole time.
Yeah.
I never leave the deck of the stage. Just I'm on stage the whole time.
Are you sort of numb to all the craziness of the show? I mean, backstage, like it's just all these.
It's mayhem.
Is it really mayhem?
Yeah, I mean, the Palace Theater wings are not gigantic, and the sets are massive. So, they're raising and lowering things on winches, and then we're kind of finding corners and nooks and crannies to change our costumes in, and it's just really well choreographed backstage. So it's craziness.
Have there been any like really fun mishaps or?
Once in a while, the bus breaks, and that's sort of a problem because we need to get places in the show for the story to go on. But that's only happened maybe 2 or 3 times.
But you've never had like a heel break or a wig?
Oh no, all the time. Wigs fall off, headdresses fall off, the heels break, zippers, all kinds of.
And what do? You just plow through them?
Just wing it, yeah. Just do what you can. I mean, nobody's fallen in the pit or anything.
I guess with that show, it doesn't matter if the wig sort of falls off.
No, it's camp, so it's just kind of funny, or the audience kind of just goes crazy.
I want to ask you about your hair boyfriend, Gavin Creel.
Oh, yes.
I know you're no longer together. Broadway.com Audience Choice Award co-winner.
That's right.
Favorite on stage player. So I'm sure you keep in touch with Gavin.
I hung out with Gavin last night.
And how'd that go?
It was great. We had a hair reunion party last night.
Oh.
Gavin and like 12 people from Hair are renting this gigantic brownstone in Harlem, and we call it the Commune because like half the cast of Hair is living there. It's literally a recreation of the show. They're not that crazy.
They're actually living. Oh, they live.
They're living
wow.
like on different levels. They're not all smoking weed every night, but it's fun. So Gavin threw a party last night, and most of our cast was there, and we played charades.
It's a tight group. It's like that group's probably gonna like follow you through life, huh?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gavin is obviously doing the national tour of Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
And you are a former Mormon. So
that's true.
The word Mormon follows you around a lot. If you Google your name, you'll find the word Mormon in there somewhere.
Yep, it's still very much.
You're Broadway's most famous former Mormon.
Former Mormon? I call it not any Mormon.
Not I like that too. So it's funny that Gavin's doing this show, huh?
Yeah. I hope he will call me for help and inspiration. I have lots of stories. No, when I went to see Book of Mormon, I was like, this is my life in a musical. It's perfect.
Yeah, you were actually a missionary too.
I was. I went on a mission. I went to Ecuador for 2 years. The set looked exactly like kind of where I was.
That's insane.
It was crazy.
So obviously you're no longer a Mormon. No more Mormons, like you said?
Not any Mormon?
Not any Mormon.
Not practicing anymore, no.
When you watch a show like that, does anything, obviously it's a hilarious show,
yep.
and it's spoofing things that everyone finds funny. I'm sure you find it funny. Mm-hmm. But is there anything that's sensitive because it was actually your life? You know what I mean? Is there anything that actually you kind of go like, oh, I don't know.
I wasn't offended at all. I mean, you go into a Matt Stone and Trey Parker show expecting to kind of get that. But it was a trip. It was. I mean, I'm so close to it still. My family still, it's very important to my family, And to kind of see that much of my life reflected in a musical, which is what I do, it was just a really surreal experience. Some of it was so beautiful, and those guys are so genius how they can kind of simultaneously mock something and honor it at the same time.
Right.
It blows my mind how they did it,
Right.
but I found myself crying and laughing in mockery of kind of, you know, what the silly things that we end up putting so much importance on in belief systems, and it blew my mind. I think it's just a perfect musical.
How did you first get exposed to musical theater? Tell me that. What was your first sort of thing that got you excited?
I was sort of born into it. I come from a theater family. My grandma and grandpa were playwrights in the 1940s. They were just loved theater and decided, and they couldn't afford royalties to put on shows that already existed. So my grandma started writing plays in Glendale, California, and they opened this tiny little theater like 60 plus years ago. It's still running. My cousin Tim still runs that theater.
Wow.
They've since expanded into a bigger place 2 or 3 times. It's called the Glendale Center Theater. It's been running forever. And I was born, you know, down there, and they threw me on stage when I was a kid, so I've just been doing it my whole
What did
life.
they throw you on stage in? An original play they wrote?
My first thing was Christmas Carol. You know, when the Ghost of Christmas Present brings out the 2 little orphans. This is ignorance and this is want. I was ignorance. One night I did a shuffle ball change, and I was supposed to be this starving child, and the audience was laughing because I was hamming it up at the age of like 3.
What about Broadway musicals? Did you have any sort of embarrassing cast albums that you were obsessed with?
I secretly listened to Jesus Christ Superstar in junior high school because we kind of were supposed to stay away from that one.
Yeah. Have you done that show ever?
I've never done it.
Would you do it?
I would dig doing Jesus, yeah, or Pilot. Yeah, I'd do it. I think
Let's work on it. I like that. I want to hear that.
Yeah,
I want to hear you do that.
I want to hear me do that.
Yeah, why not? Some Audra McDonald, Mary Magdalene action.
That would
Hey,
be
let's just do a
sweet.
concert at
Let's
least.
hook that up.
Gavin Creel, maybe throw him in there.
I like it.
Let's work on that.
All right.
So Superstar was a good one for you.
Yeah, I wasn't really like obsessed with musicals. It was so close to home that like I kind of wanted to break away and go play football, and so I did that in high school, and I still did the musicals. I was schizophrenic. I would go to football practice, and they'd make fun of me for being in the shows, and then I'd go to musical rehearsal, and they'd make fun of me for being a jock, and I don't know.
Have you found your place yet, Will?
I'm still searching, Paul. I'm gonna figure out who I am one of these days.
So you went to Brigham Young University.
I did.
Speaking of Mormons.
Yep.
And you studied music. You studied like theater there.
I started out as a theater major, and then I kind of figured out that there's like 4 musicals produced to every straight play, and I thought, well, that'll up my chances of getting hired if I learn how to sing a little bit. And I'd sung a bit in high school, and so I started taking voice lessons. Then I eventually switched majors to musical theater, and now I'm a musical theater actor.
So what kind of things did you get to do there?
My projects, like my senior directing project was How to Succeed.
Oh.
That was fun, and I performed in 9. I did 9 for my
Playing
Guido.
Guido.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless you were in drag. That would be
Yeah, he's the only guy.
That would be the part.
Yep, it was a great part.
That's a good role for you too.
I'd love to do it again.
So
Great part.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's another one. Let's put on the to-do list
All right.
at some point.
We will pencil that
Yeah.
in.
I say these things like I can actually get things done, but I just want the energy out
It can't
there.
hurt.
So Audra McDonald is a very beautiful Broadway leading
sorry,
lady.
who?
Exactly. She is also your fiance.
That's right.
She's in a big hit called Porgy and Bess.
She's very
Bess.
tired. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
She's
tough
great.
show.
It's a tough show. She gets raped 8 times a week.
She's pretty dirty in that show.
Nobody is as good at it as she is. I don't know. She's on another level. She's she does things on stage that you look at and you just go, I don't know how you ever get to that place, and nobody does. She's just a friggin' wonder.
This is sort of a deep question to start the topic, but how has she changed you? How is your relationship? I mean, are you a different guy now?
I am, absolutely. That's a heavy question there, Paul.
Oh, throwing it out.
I mean, you know, when you play tennis with somebody who's really good, your game just gets better. I feel like in every way, just her coming into my life, my game has gotten better. I'm not just talking about work, but I mean, she's just the deepest, loveliest person I've ever known, and that's helped me to sort of identify how to become maybe deeper and lovelier in my own life, and I watch her on stage and learn things every single time that that I watch her, and we talk about work stuff. She's got insights that just blow my mind. And so yeah, I'm a much better guy for having her in my life.
When did you first learn of her? Like Audra? Yeah.
It was in college. It was at BYU. I remember I was in a musical theater history class, and they were talking about the production of Carousel, which has been cast as the groundbreaking colorblind cast. And I remember watching the number on the Tonys, and then she won, and seeing her win her Tony for Carousel.
And did you think like, wow, she's hot?
I thought, I'm going to marry her someday.
I'm going to get that.
I want me some of that.
Well, I know that you were in 110 The Shade together.
Yes.
You, Steve Kazee was the lead, and you covered his role.
I covered Steve's part.
And you got to go on. So is
pushed
this
Steve
where
down a flight of stairs so that I could get to go on.
were you sort of like in rehearsals going like, look at Audra, she's beautiful, I love her?
I mean, kind of. I mean, that's what everyone in the world does. They watch her and go, wow, she's beautiful, I love her. But mine just eventually turned into a relationship. I'm sorry, what was the question?
I guess I'm just trying to figure out when you fell for her.
Oh yeah, well I got to go on, and it seemed like the chemistry was really great, and I'm sure everyone that performs with her probably feels like their chemistry is really great. But yeah, I mean, sparks really flew, and we had a lot going on at the same time that was similar. I had just lost my mom to cancer a few months prior to starting 110, and I don't know if you remember, right before we opened, her dad died tragically. In a plane crash, and so we were very much in that mourning phase of losing our parents, and so we had that to kind of commiserate over. And then we have kids that are the exact same age, and we did play dates with them, and they became good friends, so we hung out a bit that way. So we just had a lot that kind of brought our paths together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you guys actually get engaged? I heard about it a couple months ago. How did this go down?
We took a trip over New Year's and went to Puerto Rico.
Nice.
A very quick little trip, and I've been planning it for a while, wanting to ask, and we.
Were you terrified?
I was terrified. I'm a big Denver Broncos fan, and the Broncos were playing that night, and they lost the game, and I was certain that they had blown their chances to go to the playoffs, and was very upset about it, and. So we went to dinner after that, but that was the same night I was going to ask her. And I'd planned for the hotel to, arrange the room and make it all fancy, and I was going to ask her after dinner, walk on the beach and ask her. And so at dinner, I'm very distracted and nervous and thinking about what I'm going to say, and we're eating, and she keeps kind of saying, I know the Broncos lost, I'm so sorry that you're feeling so bad. And I was like, it's okay. And she's like, don't take it so hard. She just thought that I was very distraught over the Broncos losing. And then finally, when I proposed, she was like, "Oh, you weren't distracted about the Broncos, were you?" No.
Did you get down on one name?
I
did. Are you
did.
a traditional guy?
I did.
Nice.
I said very pretty things.
Wow, beautiful.
Shall I reenact it with?
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah. So, and you've both been married before. Did you know that
true.
You wanted to
get married twice?
Yeah. Did you get married?
It wasn't my plan. No, I mean, my first go-around was tricky. It was a rough breakup, and nobody wants to go through that nonsense. And so I came away from it thinking, I certainly don't want to go through that again. And I told that to Audra right up front. I was like, you're great. Let's have a nice life and see how this goes, but I'm not getting married. And, she's, the thought of not having her in my life just was too much to bear. So I got to lock her down.
And you have these adorable children.
They are.
Yes.
They're loud and they're adorable.
You have Bridger and Sawyer and Zoe.
Yes.
And so how are they doing? Are they all getting along and they all love each
great.
other?
They were sort of friends before we were a couple, so they're good pals. Audra calls them her wee posse of three, and they're good buddies. My older boy Bridger and Zoe are like exactly the same age. They're like 3 weeks apart or something like that. And then Sawyer's 3 years younger, and they're great. Zoe's a great disciplinarian. We don't pay her enough for the babysitting she does.
Do they see your shows? Have they all seen Priscilla? Have they seen Porgy and Bess? Or Porgy and Bess is a little rough?
Porgy and Bess is a little much. I think Zoe's seen Porgy. All three kids have seen Priscilla once.
What they think? What's their review?
They said it was silly. They're in the dressing room a lot. I'll come upstairs at intermission and try to kiss glitter all over them, and they're very upset about that. But once in a while, it's so funny because they hear the songs over the monitor. The other day, Sawyer's playing with his Legos, and he's making like this Ninjago Lego set, and he wants to be a ninja, and he's like, "It's raining men, hallelujah." It's just, I just left the moment alone. I didn't want him to think there was anything hilarious about that.
So is there a lot of wedding planning yet, or are you guys too busy? Oh, you are.
No, a lot. Yeah, we found a photographer we wanted, and they were booked for the weekend that we want. So, good wedding photographers, could you get in touch with me and give me a deal?
So that's a lot. Do you think Audra's going to go into Bridezilla mode at all?
Maybe a little bit. She's a planner. She likes planning things, so she'll definitely have the T's crossed and the I's dotted. But yeah.
I found this resume on your website. It's an old resume of yours, and I love that where you listed your special skills.
Yes.
And you said other amazing things Will can do. So I want to ask you about some of them because I didn't know you had some of these skills. So I just wanted.
Does it say 100 push-ups?
It does not say. We can.
No.
That's another thing you can demonstrate.
Oh, I can't do 100 push-ups.
How many
you lie
can
on
you
your
do?
resume a little bit.
How many can you do?
I could do like 80 right now, maybe.
Director and writer of stage and screen, award-winning no less.
That's true.
Broadway.com Audience Choice Award.
That's
one of your awards. Music composition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you actually wrote the songs in that.
I wrote the score to my movie.
In your movie, right?
Yeah.
Do you still write songs? Have you written a song anytime recently, or?
I write really bad love songs for Audra.
Do you?
Nobody gets to hear but her.
Nice.
But I generally I've written sort of musical theater stuff. I'm about halfway through a musical that I'm writing with a friend.
Wow.
It's a reality musical.
Reality musical.
Yep. I probably shouldn't have said what it is because now somebody might copy me.
A reality musical because reality shows are scripted.
Yes.
So it can be scripted
Yes,
and be
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, but I think we're going to do some of the voting stuff, like vote people off and have like alternate endings kind of a thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
fun.
Finish that.
Yeah.
Your spare time. Finish that.
I know. But I write a lot. I wrote my first feature that I wrote,
Sons
of Provo.
Right, Sons of Provo.
And that was a musical. It was about a Mormon boy band and really stupid songs, but sort of along the lines of Altar Boys, but ours came out just a little bit before.
Is there a stage adaptation of that ever?
There should be, but Altar Boys came out, and it's such similar ground that I figured maybe that ground has been covered. But yeah, I'm about halfway through a screenplay right now, and then I'm about to direct a film in the fall, probably.
You're a Renaissance man. You also play guitar, according to this.
Yep, that's true.
You play the love songs to Audra on the guitar?
That's true, I do. It's very sappy.
Fluent Spanish.
That's true, that was my mission.
Will you say something, please? Just like, I don't know, prove it.
Prove it?
Yeah.
All right. Es un gusto para estar aquí en los estudios de Broadway.com, lo mejor.com en todo el universo.
Lo mejor también. Dialects. Do you have a fun one?
Like Australian?
Oh, that's true. You're doing that every night. Any other crazy ones?
Every actor has all of these on their resume.
No, but then you have horses. We do.
Oh, well, I grew up, in Utah, and we have a family ranch, and so I know how to ride horses.
Motorcycles.
Do you do
that
we change
often?
sprinkler pipe. I haven't ridden a bike in a while, but in the summers we'd change sprinkler pipe in the fields, and we'd ride our motorcycles all over the property.
And you work well with gays.
I knew that was coming. It's true, I do.
What is the trick to working well with gays?
Well, if you're dating Audra McDonald, that helps. 'Cause they love her.
Just bring her around.
It's a free pass.
Have you witnessed people just sort of lose their minds around her?
All the time.
Yeah,
all the time. They go speechless, and then it's amazing. We leave the theater. My show gets done a little bit before hers every night, and I'll walk across Times Square, and she'll finish her show,
right.
and then she'll do the line where she signs autographs. Right. And often I'll kind of hide in the car and watch her sign, and I'll watch the people get their autograph and then turn to their partner and just freak out and jump and skip down the street because they just met her. Yeah, it's very cute.
Does anyone have the power to do that to you? Would you lose your mind meeting anyone, or is it just all too?
I've been starstruck a couple of times. Athletes a little bit. If I met John Elway, I'd probably freak right out.
You could explain who that is later.
Oh, come on, Broadway.com. You know who John Elway is. I'm going to write a musical about him. We were just talking about Magic and Bird.
Well, once you write a musical about him, then I'll know who he is.
Singing John Elway? Come on.
Our time is running out. Is there anything else you're dying to tell the people?
Gosh, I enjoy your website so much.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. We could talk about that if you want. In Spanish or English. I don't know. However you want to say it.
I don't know. Life's good. It's good chatting with you.
I love everything you do. You have turned into quite a talented
I love
young
everything
man.
you do. It's nice to sit in these white leather chairs.
Does it feel like how it looked on camera?
This room is remarkably smaller than it looks on camera.
It's very small.
It's all right. It looks really nice on camera. We could pretend like we're stretching out, but it's smallish.
It's not so cute.
It also doubles for other like segments that you do in the Broadway.com.
A lot happens in here, but there's also all this
Flip things
crap,
around.
all this stuff that they can't see.
Yeah, but it looks clean and posh from here, so.
Well, it's good to have you in the little room. Thank you very much, Will Swenson. And everyone needs to go check out Priscilla, Queen of the Desert at the Palace Theater. Thank you, Will.
Thanks very much. Good to be here.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.